Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 5, The Cause of All Causes, Text number 10. Nanitam tavatachchapi yatamam prabhavishivo avigaya paramata etavatvam yatohi me nanitam tavatachchapi yatamam prabhavishivo avigaya paramata etavatvam yatohi me nanitam tavatachchapi yatamam prabhavishivo avigaya paramata etavatvam yatohi me. Please chant. Nanitam tavatachchapi yatamam prabhavishivo avigaya paramata etavatvam yatohi me. Nanitam tavatachchapi yatamam prabhavishivo avigaya paramata etavatvam yatohi me. Nanitam tavatachchapi yatamam prabhavishivo avigaya paramata etavatvam yatohi me. Not amritam, false. Tava, of yours. Tat, that. Cha, also. Api, as you have stated. Yata, in the matter of. Mam, of myself. Prabhavishi, as you describe. Va, O my son. Avigaya, without knowing. Param, the supreme. Mataha, beyond myself. Etavat, all that you have spoken. Tvam, yourself. Yataha, for the reason of. He, certainly. Me, about me. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Whatever you have spoken about me is not false, because unless and until one is aware of the personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate truth beyond me, one is sure to be illusioned by observing my powerful activities. This is spoken by Lord Brahma to Narada. Purport. The frog in the well logic illustrates that a frog residing in the atmosphere and boundary of a well cannot imagine the length and breadth of the gigantic ocean. Such a frog, when informed of the gigantic length and breadth of the ocean, first of all does not believe that there is such an ocean. And if someone assures him that factually there is such a thing, the frog then begins to measure by imagination by means of pumping its belly as far as possible. The result that the tiny abdomen of the frog bursts and the poor frog dies without any experience of the actual ocean. Similarly, the material scientists also want to challenge the inconceivable potency of the Lord by measuring Him with their frog-like brains and their scientific achievements, but at the end they simply die unsuccessfully like the frog. Sometimes a materially powerful man is accepted as God or the incarnation of God without any knowledge of the factual God. Such a material assessment may be gradually extended, and the attempt may reach to the highest limit of Brahmaji, who is the topmost living being within the universe, and has a duration of life unimaginable to the material scientists. As we get information from the most authentic book of knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita 8.17, Brahmaji's one day and night is calculated to be some hundreds of thousands of years on our planet. This long duration of life may not be believed by the frog in the well, but persons who have a realization of the truths mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita accept the existence of a great personality who creates the variegatedness of the complete universe. It is understood from the revealed scriptures that the Brahmaji of this universe is younger than all the other Brahmas in charge of the many, many universes beyond this. But none of them can be equal to the personality of Godhead. Naraji is one of the liberated souls, and after his liberation he was known as Narada. Otherwise, before his liberation, he was simply a son of a maidservant. The questions may be asked why Naradaji was not aware of the Supreme Lord and why he misconceived Brahmaji to be the Supreme Lord, although factually he was not. A liberated soul is never bewildered by such a mistaken idea. So why did Naradaji ask all those questions just like an ordinary man with a poor fund of knowledge? There was such bewilderment in Arjuna also, although he is eternally the associate of the Lord. Such bewilderment in Arjuna or in Narada takes place by the will of the Lord, so that other non-liberated persons may realize the real truth and knowledge of the Lord. The doubt arising in the mind of Narada about Brahmaji's becoming all-powerful is a lesson for the frogs in the well. They may not be bewildered in misconceiving the identity of this personality Godhead, even by comparison to a personality like Brahma. So what to speak of ordinary men who falsely pose themselves as God or an incarnation of God? The Supreme Lord is always the Supreme. And as we have tried to establish many times in these purports, no living being, even up to the standard of Brahma, can claim to be one with the Lord. One should not be misled when people worship a great man as God after his death as a matter of hero worship. There are many kings like Lord Ramachandra, the king of Ayodhya, but none of them are mentioned as God in the revealed scriptures. To be a good king is not necessarily the qualification of being Lord Ram, but to be a great personality like Krishna is the qualification for being the personality of Godhead. If we scrutinize the characters who took part in the battle of Kurukshetra, we may find that Maharaj Yudhisthira was no less a pious king than Lord Ramachandra, and by character study, Maharaj Yudhisthira was better moralist than Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna asked Maharaj Yudhisthira to lie, but Maharaj Yudhisthira protested. But that does not mean that Maharaj Yudhisthira could be equal to Lord Ramachandra or Lord Krishna. The great authorities have estimated Maharaj Yudhisthira to be a pious man, but they have accepted Lord Ram or Krishna as the personality Godhead. The Lord is therefore a different identity in all circumstances, and no idea of anthropomorphism can be applied to him. The Lord is always the Lord, and a common living being can never be equal to him. Om Gyananandasya Gyananashalakya Chakshumitam Nena Chaksmi Sri Gurave Namaha Vanchakapa Turubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Kadachana Yata Yasmin Duskarum Sukarum Bhavet Vismite Vyapyatim Shashi Chaitanyam Nanamitam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasiri Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We're in this material world because we're trying to be God. And if anyone tries to be God, then suffering comes. That's why this purport is so long. Pretty much every line Prabhupada is repeating, don't ever think you are God. One time, I think it was in Scotland, Edinburgh, Prabhupada was giving a lecture there, a public lecture. And at the end of the lecture, this man stands up, goes right to the stage in front of Prabhupada, and he pretty much stated, "I am God!" And he was just trying to argue his case in so many ways. And I think if it was Ireland or Scotland, they're religious, they believe in God. So he was just speaking to Prabhupada. Prabhupada was just silent, and he stayed silent for a while. And then he says, "You are not God, you are God!" Like this. The audience just clapped. Ooh, yeah! And then he shut him down, he walked back, sat down. So pretty much this is our main disease of the living entity being in the material world. And we never ask about why we're suffering, or we never ask about what is my real position. So that's why it's so nice that Naradaji is asking Lord Brahma, "You seem so powerful, you seem like everything is coming from you, you're making so much progeny, everything is bound by your consciousness in the universe." When Lord Brahma goes to bed at night, then there's a whole inundation, a big flooding, and nearly the three worlds are completely inundated with water, except Mahajana, Tapa, and Satyaloka. And then when he wakes up, then he has to fix it up again. Sometimes it happens to us, like we go to bed, and then, we forget about whatever's going on, we're in a dream world. And then you wake up, you kind of like, okay, now I have to wake up, and then I have to fix my body, I have to brush my teeth, I have to wash my body. You kind of have to reset everything again, to put everything back in place. Your whole consciousness has to be put back in place. So the whole universe is it's held by Lord Brahma's consciousness. That's how powerful he is. So you can't blame Narada to think, "Oh, you seem to be the supreme person, but I see you're worshipping someone else." But our position, we never ask that. We're like this frog in the well. We think everything is what I see, perceiving around me. This is everything. My body, some people think like, you people, the people around me, the places I see, it's emanating from my own consciousness. It's my imagination. You exist because I imagined you here. What a rascal. But the frog in the well thinks that. The material scientists. There's no life on other planets. We went to the moon, we saw nothing there. You only saw a small part. So how do we get our information? There's three different ways. There's by empiric way, the pradyaksha, through our senses. But unfortunately, our senses are imperfect. The four defects of the conditioned soul is that it has imperfect senses. And then the next is that it makes mistakes. The third is that it cheats. And then the fourth is that it's illusions. So if you have imperfect senses, then for sure you'll make a mistake. For example, you look at the sun, it looks like some disc in the sky. It looks very small. It's not so big. It's not so hot. It's there, but how much can you perceive just from your own vision? So then you make the mistake, yes, just someone put a light there, we can turn it on and off anytime. Or some perceive that the sun, every time it rises, then it sets, the new sun comes when it rises again. It's not the same one. By perception, it looks like that. There's all this argument, is it flat, is it round, the earth? By perception, the reporter asked Prabhupada, he goes, "So do you think that the earth is flat?" He goes, everywhere I walk it's flat. That's by perception. So you'll make a mistake with whatever you do. So when you make mistakes, you try and cover it up, so then you cheat. No, I wasn't making a mistake. This is something, you make your own philosophies to cover your mistake. And then you start cheating other people to cover your mistakes. And then you yourself believe the lie. The main lie we believe in is that I'm this material body. I'm a woman, I'm a man, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm Australian, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm Nigerian. Don't mess with me, man. So we so many perceptions we put on ourselves, labels of this body, we think that's me. That's who I am. But then we can see when there's like a funeral taking place, someone's father's passed away. Oh, he's gone, he's gone, he's gone. But by perception, the same body, person, you said this is that person, that body, is still there, lying there. Imagine you went up to that person who's lamenting for their father or mother's death and you say, why are you crying? He's still there. No, he's gone, he's gone. What's gone? The soul has gone. That the embodied living being is passing through babyhood, childhood, youthhood to old age. And then at death, the soul moves on to another body. Sober person, one who's dear, is not bewildered by such a change. We're not in a sober state where this frog, drunken by sense gratification, thinking I'm this body, illusioned. And that's what Lord Brahma is stating here. If you're not aware of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then whatever you perceive, whatever powers you perceive around you, will just catch you in illusion. The senses don't work properly. It's not enough to live in a life of knowledge. And if you have no knowledge, if you don't know who you are, you cannot be happy. Can you be happy if you don't know who you are? Of course not. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is enlightening us of at least who we are, of knowledge that can actually bring happiness. Because that's what the living entity is all about. Anandamaya Bhyasa. Sometimes it's like I do Harinam on the street. And we meet especially at my favorite one is schoolies on the Gold Coast. That's my favorite. Because they go nuts, it's the best, You go there, 6, 7 o'clock, and you can't leave for 4 hours. These kids just come running, and they're just partying with you. They just want to party, that's all they want to do. They don't care what kind of party it is. If it's fun, we're going to do it. And they come, they run, they're dancing, and they go, and we have this mantra sign, we hold it there, and they go, we're up to. Where's Giridhar? Is he here? No. Giridhar came with us once, and he was holding the sign, and one of them goes up to him and asks him, what's this all about? And he's holding it, he's from Chicago, so he's got the American, singing the names of God. And he's like, yeah, sick, alright. Hare Krishna, like this. And they don't go away. That's the problem. Usually you have people that join in and they're dancing, and taking selfie. I don't know what these videos are, they're jumping around, taking selfies and chanting Hare Krishna. And they don't go away, and then more kids come, and then our speaker dies, our voices are gone, the hands are bleeding from the drum, and we're trying to get back, and they're following us. They go, yeah, let's go around. Oh, God. And we do that for 10 nights straight. And by the time, you can't even wake up, and we have to sleep for 10 hours in a day. It's intense stuff. So sometimes they ask, so what do you believe in? So what do I say? Krishna is God. No, I can't, you can't say God in Australia. So I say that what we believe in is living forever, knowing everything, and always having a good time. Sat Chit Ananda. That's what the soul is all about. That's who we really are. So when one chants the holy name, then that wakes up the soul. That life of living forever. The songs like that, Bon Jovi or whatever. I'm gonna live forever. So, and then songs like, party all night and sleep all day. You know, we don't even do that. We party all day and night, and anytime, you know, there's a song, there's some song with the Hare Krishna movement before a class. You know, you don't go to university. The professor doesn't sing a song. Doesn't bring out a guitar, sings a song for you before he gives a lecture. You know, before we eat something, there's another song. You know, and then 4 o'clock in the morning, that's when everyone finishes partying in the nightclubs, you know, and they're all passed out afterwards. We start partying then, bringing out the drums and the cymbals. If you want to go to a real party temple, go to Soho Street, London. My God, they party like that morning, Mangalati. Like, I know it's peaceful here, and it's cool. But they're like running up and down, and especially if His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami is there. So the altar's kind of like this, but like even closer to the deities when you see them, right? You can. It's just one step. There's like one step. So then he's like making us run up and down, and then he'll push the devotees onto the altar. He's just like, yeah, Hare Krishna, like this. And then he gets everyone else to sing, and then the pujari, they're doing arti, and like, you know, they're supposed to be like concentrating, and then he pushes the pujari and makes him lead the kirtan. That's so cool, man. So I like this philosophy of dancing and chanting, and then from that knowledge comes, realization comes of who you really are. You get beyond all these defects of the conditioned soul just by dancing and chanting. It's the life of all transcendental, Vijivatu Jivanam. That this Sankirtan movement, this dancing and chanting, it wakes up knowledge from within. People realize there's something more to life. You know, they'll come up to you and go, what is it all about? So that's what Narada is giving us a hint onto what's the activities of the soul. So Ananda is my favorite part of the soul, bliss. But where do we get happiness from? It's not from money, it's not from sex, it's not from prestige. Oh, look at my Instagram, I got 1.3 million followers or something like that. No, it's from relationships, love. That's where real happiness comes from. And in the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada in the introduction says that everyone runs on rasa, or this taste from relationships, rasa. Just like a family man, he's working, he's doing so many things to arrange because he loves his children and his wife. You know, the children try to do good in school and please the parents because there's love to be exchanged. Everything we do to get that happiness is trying to get that loving relationship. But unfortunately, every relationship between material bodies is bounded by time, space, and thought. Someone has to die, someone goes away. You know, sometimes you have, I don't know if you experienced it in primary school or high school, like you have a best friend and you're in the same grade, you do everything together. And then you change grades and then they're in a different grade. And then you're not friends anymore, just because you're just space just separated you. Or you go to different schools. And then you come back, you see each other later on. Sometimes I see my friends from high school, and I'm playing in the street and stuff. And so much has changed. They've gone through so many different experiences I have as well. And it's a world of difference. And we used to be like that, bro. We used to be like that. I mean, you guys used to be like that. But not anymore. It's like time and space separated. And then there's thought that when the gopis, when the devotees think of Krishna, Krishna is there with them. When we think of Krishna, actually Krishna is there with us. When we chant His holy name, He's there with us. Dancing on your tongue. Suddenly the tongue becomes a dance floor. I like that. And you know, the court, and then the heart becomes a courtyard for like Krishna to also dance with you as a spirit soul. So that's the goal of all this knowledge, is to develop a loving relationship with God. with Krishna. That's what the soul needs. That's the emotional need of the soul, loving reciprocation with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But one may think, what? So if you love God, what about your family, your friends, your work colleagues? You know, you have to love everyone else too. Why? You don't have any love for them. No, this is the perfection of loving everyone else. Just like if I love the hand, automatically I love the finger. So if we love Krishna, who is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Nadi Nadi Govinda Savakarina Karina. He is the cause of all causes. Everything emanates from him. Aham Savasya Prabhu Mata Savam Pavatate Iti Mata Bhajantiva Buddha Bhavan Savamrita. Krishna says, all spiritual and material worlds emanate from me. The wise, you perfectly know, the wise, those who are Buddha, they worship me with all their hearts with bhava. This knowledge leads to bhava, emotion. This book is a book of love. Srimad Bhagavatam is a book of love. You experience so much from it. If you want to put rocket boosters in your spiritual life, you read Srimad Bhagavatam. But isn't it all academic? I can't understand these purports and big words. I need a dictionary every 2 sentences. No, even if you don't understand it, Shrimrata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana He Anantastohi Bhadrani Vidunoti Sahisatam. The Super Soul sitting in the heart hears you're very honest and eager to hear his message, to know and love Krishna. So there he starts doing some magic. Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritapuvakam Dadami Buddha Yogatam Yenamam Upiyantate. One who is constantly worshipping God, Krishna, coming close to him with the Pulvarag, with some priti, with some affection. For that person I give the intelligence to come close to me. So you read the Bhagavatam, you don't understand. Then the Bhagavatam starts acting in your lives. Krishna is in every atom, he's everywhere. He's in the heart of every living entity. He'll send some person and teach you something that was in the Bhagavatam that you didn't understand. There was one time in Copenhagen, one devotee he had enough of these Hare Krishnas. Sometimes it happens. These guys are too heavy, too many rules, always giving me a hard time. I'm going to be free. And then he walks out, he's got his bags, he walks around the corner. Some homeless guy goes, "Hey, who's your master?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? Who's my master?" "Yeah, who's your master? Look, I see you got a dog collar. Who's your master?" And then he's just like, "I guess Krishna is." He went back to the temple. And that was just some homeless guy in the street. So Krishna can do magic, and when he sees that you're trying to get to know him, then he starts making illusion. You stop living reality, a life full of knowledge and bliss. You live like you're living forever. This is the real song. Bon Jovi is trying to be a Hare Krishna. Whoa, we're halfway there. Living on a prayer. So we are living on a prayer, but I don't know what his prayer was. Our prayer is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rani, O Krishna, O Rama, the reservoir of all pleasure, please engage me in your service. Real love means to serve without wanting anything in return. The closest thing we see that is the mother's love for the child, right? When the child is successful and happy, the mother's more happy. When the child hurts itself, was in distress, the mother's more distressed. So that unconditional love it's not complete in that relationship because there's the bodily connection. She doesn't have the same love for all children. You know, the one from my body. My older brother, he just had he has a baby girl, he's 3 years old. And like, I can feel that, you know. It's like, oh, this is it's my bodily connection. She's so great. Look at her, she stands up and walks. Wow, all babies work. No, it's my bodily connection. No. So the unconditional love comes when we have that loving connection with Krishna. Like I said, you love the hand, you love the finger. Everything, everyone comes from Krishna. So if you love Krishna, automatically you have pure love for every living entity and every energy that emanates from him. It's the one switch that turns all the lights on. That's what we're looking for. That's what the soul needs. And that's what Narada is trying to get us to question. Who are we supposed to love unconditionally? Who are we supposed to surrender and give everything to? We have an ocean of love to give, but we're always finding it in imperfect persons, in these false incarnations of God, in these material scientists, in people who just, in this material body, these senses pushing us again and again. It's defined, love is defined in the CC, that in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Apyendra Pritivanchitare Padakam, Kisendya Ichidhare Premanam, that lust, the all-powerful enemy, Kama Esha, Kota Esha, Rajaguna Samudbhava, Mahashana Mahapama, Vidyanami Varinam, that this number one enemy of the soul is lust in contact with Rajagun. This is when we try to satisfy our own senses, the senses of this body really. It just burns like fire. Ritya Jnana Etena, Jnana no Nichavarina, Kama Rupena Kunteya, Duspanena Lenacha. It burns like fire and it's never satisfied. You're just putting more fuel and then you're never satisfied. Every time we try to get some material enjoyment, it's just always short. It's never enough. I felt like that once. I used to like some band called Daft Punk. I don't know if you remember them. But I remember liking them since I was like 10 years old. And then they finally started like a music concert tour, a world tour, and they came to Australia, they came to Melbourne. Me and my brother was like, yeah, we're gonna go. You know? This is like the dream come true. Finally, my worshipful deities have come. And then we go there and we're all hyping our minds up, we're painting the picture. It's going to be such a great experience. Paid hundreds of dollars for tickets. And then we see this light show, and it's pretty much, it was boring as hell. Everyone was on like these heavy drugs, and they were just bumping us. It was annoying as hell. We didn't have a good time at all. It was like the biggest letdown ever. This lust just lets you down. But love, serving Krishna, just by taking prasadam, that one moment in the kirtan, like we had kirtan festival, my legs are paining and my throat is gone. But man, I had a good time. Kirtan hangover the next day. But it was so much fun. And you think about it, you're singing the same song. How many times like you've had a number one hit and then you started hating it? But this is number one hit since, I don't know, whenever. Still the number one. And not even that, like same melody, like Prabhupada tune. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we don't get bored of that one, right? We had like such good musicians, like people who like know all of our Indra's tunes, and they're ripping out these different ragas and everything. But when they kicked in Prabhupada's tune, then it was, everyone ends on Prabhupada's tune because it's gonna like crescendo, it's gonna hit that climax. If you don't do Prabhupada's tune at the end of your kirtan, there's no climax, Same tune. Not just same song, same tune. And we're getting like, oh wow, like a big explosion of new experience. This is the spiritual energy. Om Puna Mada Puna Vada Puna Puna Dachite Puna Sya Puna Adya Puna Shishite. It's complete. You take 1 million Krishnas out of Krishna, still Krishna is fully unlimited. That's what we're receiving from just service with the tongue. Atashi Krishna Namani Namavet Granam Indriye Seva Mukhe Jivado Swayameva Sparatida. The senses are blunt, they can't see Krishna, they can't observe his name, form, leela, gunas, the qualities of Krishna. We can't do it with these material senses, but by service of the tongue, but Seva Mukha means also to turn towards Krishna. That's also there, turn one's face towards Krishna with service. But Sevamukhi can also mean with the jiva, with the tongue. And I like this one. By kirtan prasada, by chanting and taking delicious prasada, Samimeva Spirati Yada, that Krishna reveals himself to you. We've all experienced Krishna, had that. There's no one who hasn't served. Whoever served, they've had some experience of Krishna, of some deep happiness they've never experienced before. And that's because the relationship is building more and more. The root of all suffering is our forgetfulness of that relationship. But the root of our happiness is our development of that relationship with Krishna. That's the root. That's the source. Akila Rasamrita Murti. Krishna is the reservoir of pleasure. All this, if you translate this, Akila Rasamrita Murti. So I like this Akila Rasamrita Murti. Such a nice name for Krishna. Akila means complete. Can mean complete. Rasa, taste, relationships, love and reciprocation. Amrita, the nectar, the complete nectar of relationships in a form, beautiful form. Radha Govardhana Dari. That's who Krishna is. That's who we're chanting. That's who we're serving. That's who we're trying to connect to. And the Srimad Bhagavatam gives full enlightenment of how to connect to such a personality. This is the Supreme Personality Godhead, who's the supreme lover and supreme enjoyer. Who better to party with? Shri Natara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So comments or questions? Yes, bro.
Very wonderful glorification of Mahavishnu Maharaj in the Soho Temple, and you were saying about cultivating that party mood. So how do we cultivate that party mood at an individual level and a societal level?
Why you ask this for? Party mood.
Do you want to repeat the question for the people outside?
Okay, the question is how to develop the party mood individually and on a collective society level. Just dance and chant as much as possible, really, find any excuse to just have a party. You don't have to wait. Someone's birthday, okay, cool, feast and kirtan, let's do it, Just find any moment. You don't wait for someone to say, okay, kirtan starts now. No, just do it. People will come, that's true. 100%. Krishna will send devotees to just have the party. He says, you want a party? Okay, I'll send people to help you. Even it may not be practicing devotees. Because I'm going around doing Harina. One time we went and we were in Sydney, we went in Paddington where the first temple was. It was a Tuesday. And usually Monday, Tuesdays, I take it easy. I just do an hour, and I don't try and interact and make people chant. I just take it easy. And it was raining, and nothing's open. I'm going down the street, and first of all, this lady comes out of her shop, and she's like, an older Aussie lady, maybe her name's Cheryl or something. She comes out of her shop, and she goes. And usually I don't stop chanting for anyone. And then she goes to me like this, she goes, and I go, oh no, she's going to tell me, something like that. You can't do this, it's not allowed. Where's your permit? I was thinking, that's my mind, She goes, where am I? In the 1970s? What's going on here? I go, we're chanting Hare Krishna back then. She goes, I have a brother and sisterhood devotees, Vishwa Hetu and I don't know the twin. Vishwa Hetu is my brother, they're practicing and they have, I love my Hare Krishna grandchildren, they grew up here on this farm. And yeah, you're doing a very nice thing. And I wish you all the best to get many recruits. And it's just me and Chaitanya Chandradas, Bhakta Cruz. And he's doing books, I'm playing drum and singing. And I go, oh, thank you so much for your blessings. We'll see you next time. We go up the road. There's no one there. Oh, wait, there's another person. Sorry. I'm getting to the point. There was this guy in a wheelchair, and he couldn't even hold on to things. He was his body was nearly finished, And Probably seemed homeless as well. And he comes up to us, and he wants to play cartels. He can't even hold stuff. Like, his hands weren't the mechanism of the motor things are not working. But for some reason, he could hold cartels. Not only hold cartels, he was playing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? And he was playing on time, and chanting Hare Krishna. He was trying to chant Hare Krishna with us. I go, okay, Krishna send send someone. That's cool. He wanted to party. And then we further go up the road, and then from across the road, we go up, and then across the road there's this guy. He's just like, and then I see his mouth is chanting the Maha Mantra. I'm like, what is this guy? We cross the road. And he used to go to some Govinda's ashram, Pratapana and Jai Shri's place. They have the kirtan house and they do kirtan. He used to go there. I go, yeah, we're doing Harinam, come. He goes, oh, I feel like in Mayapur or something. I go, okay, cool. Come with us. So he just started going down the street a little bit. And then there's this restaurant, everything's closed, but some restaurant, there's all these people just start piling out. Like maybe 50, 60 people. Alright? And then we make them chant, Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna!
Krishna Krishna! So they just went crazy, woo, yeah, woo! And I'm like, where did they come from? And then they gave a nice donation, everyone took books, and then they went back inside, and I was like, whoa, what the hell was that? Oh my God, they came out of nowhere. That was a full party though, like that. And it probably only lasted like 5-10 minutes, What, parties or festivals out there, like a nightclub or something, People can't even get comfortable in the beginning, It's like it takes 3 hours for them to get a little tipsy, and then maybe the party starts rocking a little bit. There's a DJ there, no one's dancing, the dance floor's empty, and everyone's just talking to each other, useless. Yeah, that's not a party. Here, everyone dances together, they sing together. It's all like collective, and it builds. But there, everyone's like trying to do the individual thing, and I'm trying to be the star here. Forget you. Krishna's the star. So yeah, putting Krishna in the middle, that helps definitely. But just by doing it, and then Krishna will just make it, if it's not happening, you make it happen, pretty much. That's pretty much how it is. And my main inspiration is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So by reading Srimad Bhagavatam and living the Bhagavatam, and if you look at the introduction to Srimad Bhagavatam, it's the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's considered living the life of the Bhagavatam. And what did he do? He had parties on the street. Hare Krishna street party. Yeah, so I don't think I answered your question, but that's cool? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Another question? Yes, Mataji? Oh, sorry. Prabhu?
Oh, it's just more of a comment that in the Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that Gopal Kumar's spiritual master, he at one point says that you've been chanting on my order, now out of duty. Now you need to start chanting out of love. And Gopal Kumar says, so how do I do that? He says, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam. That's a nice point that we're doing it every day.
Yeah. For everyone outside, the comment was that from Brihad Bhagavatam Rita, Gopal Kumar is speaking with his spiritual master. So he received this Gopal mantra from him. He was chanting, and his spiritual master told Gopal Kumar, you've been chanting out of duty under my order. Now it's time for you to chant out of love. And how is that done? By hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavat Sevya. Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Oh, sorry, Mamuka, sorry. Yeah.
You mentioned about how the bodily concept of life is we have relationships and Krishna is the center. And we also hear about how devotees are dear to Krishna. So when devotees have families, the relationship is different from ordinary people, how they do it. So could you just kind of just say how devotees relate, like interact with their own family and information?
Okay, yeah, cool. The question is, okay, devotees have families, so how do they interact with each other in relation to Krishna? Very nice question. Actually, we should interact with all living entities in a way that's pleasing to Krishna. And Madhyamadikari is the prime example of this, that he has love for Ishvara, for the Lord. He is friends with equals or with devotees, and then he is merciful to the innocent, and he avoids the envious. So how does this work within a family, in a family unit? Well, if we have children, then we have to somehow encourage them and influence them as much as possible to serve Krishna and remember Krishna and take as much prasadam as possible. And we, kids who grow up in the movement, it's tough to them because, say for us who weren't born in devotee families, we had all these questions about life but no answers. So then we're like searching here and there. But the devotee kids, they have all the answers but never got to ask the questions. So they need to come, so we can only provide like so much atmosphere and influence to guide this soul back to Krishna, make sure it's its last birth in some way. But still they're an individual and they have to fly their own plane, to say that. With say our own like parents, say if they're devotees, then you worship them like guru, they're the first gurus. If they're not devotees, then Prabhupada would always encourage his disciples to have respect for their parents. It's like I think, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If there's a good fruit, it means the tree must be good. So we have something we've inherited from our own parents. We can't say, the demons are eating meat, all this stuff. No, it's not. They're not all Hiranyakashipu. There's some good quality we've inherited from them to become a devotee. And then say within a relationship, husband and wife, then it's a partnership to try and encourage each other to serve Krishna. That's pretty much how it should be, I guess. And I guess it's another class in itself, obviously. I don't want to get into it. But just in a short form, it's a partnership, friendship to try and serve Krishna together. The deity is the center of the home belongs to the deity, and you try and serve the deity. And we're servants in the master's home of the deity. But the main thing is that we should interact with all living entities, even all energies, in such a way that it's pleasing to Krishna, that Krishna is pleased with it. Yeah. Is that okay? Yeah, cool. Hare Krishna, Kantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Bhagavad Prasadam ki, Go Premanande, Srila Prabhupada ki.